Okay, my name is Katie Flickinger, and this is Module 8. What does it mean to lead with a moral compass? So first of all, what is a moral compass? A moral compass is a metaphor for describing our inner sense of knowing what is right and wrong. So we were all born with a sense of knowing what's right and wrong. This is a mental process in a particular direction in life. Our moral compass keeps us on the track of making ethical decisions. So basically, a moral compass is what we are given to know what right from wrong is, and it helps us and keeps us on track for what we find important and valuable. So why is it important to have a moral compass, and why do we need a moral compass? According to Zitzman article, there are 5 important reasons why we need to have a moral compass. So we need to have a moral compass because it grounds our identity, it protects the greater good, it increases self-confidence, it requires us to be a good role model, and it allows us to foster any healthy relationships. So when you're grounding, what it means to ground your identity, it means that you know what you stand for and you know what is important when making an ethical decision. If you follow your own morals, you create a consistency. So your identity is consistent with what you stand for. When you know what you value, it is important that guides your behaviors. Protect the greater good. So protecting the greater good means including everybody and treating others with kindness. So if we all strive to make our lives better than our own, So if we all strive to make others' lives better than our own, then we're protecting the greater good. We're looking out for more than just ourselves. We're looking out for those around us. Having a moral compass increases your self-confidence. So knowing where you stand and what you stand for leads you to have higher self-confidence. You believe in yourself, you trust yourself, you love yourself. People who listen to their moral compasses have higher integrity and they trust themselves more. So if you listen to your moral compass, if you trust that you know what you're supposed to be doing, then you will have higher self-confidence. Having a moral compass also causes you to be a good role model. So if you are a leader, then you know who you are and what you stand for. Know your line before you cross it. People are looking up to you, whether you're a parent, a coach, a mentor, a sibling, aunt, uncle, whatever you are, people are looking up to you. So model what you want others to see. Foster healthy relationships. So having a moral compass, a need for a moral compass, it helps us to foster healthy relationships with one another. Having the ability to put others in front of yourself causes you to be able to have healthy relationships with those around you. People trust you and you build a bond with those around you. They know that you say what you mean and you mean what you say. That trust and that bond is something that having a moral compass can really help foster those relationships. So to lead with your moral compass, your word has to mean something. Let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. People need to be able to trust you as a leader. If you breach their trust, then you're no longer their leader. People do not want to work for somebody that they don't trust or somebody who does not go and follow their word. You have to have an integrity reflex. So an integrity reflex, according to Lee, is knowing what is right and knowing what is wrong and committing to what is right. This would make you a good leader. According to Bucaro, to be a leader, you always have to put people number one when making decisions. Respect individual dignity. So in the case of being a teacher, a bad GPA does not make a student stupid. It does not make a student not smart. It does not make a student any less than anyone else. Having a bad GPA does not define the student's dignity or self-esteem or who they are as an individual. It's important to respect individual dignity. Treat everyone fairly. Everyone needs to follow the same rules no matter how high up you are. So all the way from the principal down to a freshman at the school, everybody has to follow the same rules in order to create that consistency and that environment that people would like to work in and be in. Be honest, always tell the truth. Both talk about knowing your line and don't cross that line. So both videos talked about knowing the line that you have and do not cross that line. Don't even get close to that line. Know your values before making decisions, and then take time to reflect. Know what's negotiable and what's not, and be clear about your values. So leading with a moral compass and being a leader is all about putting people first, treating people fairly, lead with your values, and be intentional with those values. So here's what makes up your own moral compass. A moral compass is made up of things that we value, according to Woods. So these things help influence our decisions. So some examples are integrity, family, fairness, personal responsibility, kindness, respect, trust, things that we value. This helps guide us in our moral compass. Another thing I took away from the resources are a few steps for making moral decisions. So first, analyze the consequences of that decision. Who will be helped by what I do? Who will be harmed? What kind of benefits or harms are we talking about? So does it have to do with someone's health? Does it have to do with someone's trust? What consequences does your decision have to do? And how does this look in the long run? So kind of analyze the consequences, see how it would look in the long run. Number 2, analyze the actions. So consider all of the options from different perspectives without thinking of the consequences. How do the actions measure up against society's moral principles like honesty, fairness, equality, respecting the dignity of others? So consider the common good. Is this good for those around me? Do any of the actions cross the line? We all know what the line is. We all have our own line in certain situations. Do your actions cross that line? Is there a conflict between principles or between the rights of people involved? Is there any way to see one principle as more important than others? So there are always going to be ethical dilemmas. You're going to have to, as a leader, be able to decide which principle is more important. Is integrity more important in this situation? Is respect more important? What is more important in that situation? Which option offers actions that are least problematic? So obviously you want to find a solution, not more problems. And then number 3 is just make the decision. So analyze the consequences, what could happen, who's harmed by this decision, analyze the actions. Do your actions cross any lines? Are you doing anything you're not supposed to be doing? And then just go ahead and make that decision and trust yourself as a leader. My personal moral compass, this moral compass describes me as a person and as a teacher. These are some of my most important values that shape decisions that I make. Putting all of these virtues into a compass really helped me visualize what's truly important to me. So it's important to me that I have integrity, that I respect my students, I'm honest with them, I'm kind and fair. I'm also loyal, responsible, and I have a responsibility to them, as well as treating everybody equally. These are things that I find very important. My family also helps lead my moral compass, as well as some of my religious views. Here are the references. And my correlation, so this assignment is correlated to the standards because it allows me to use my own examples and life experiences and use them in the assignment. The resources provided, I feel, were very informative on the topic of having a moral compass and what it means to have a moral compass. I was able to reflect on my own moral compass. I feel like this assignment was important for me to actually visualize my morals and values. We all know what we value and what our morals are, but for us to actually visualize it and put it into a compass was very great. I will use this in my classroom by having my students create their own moral compasses to see what's important to them and who they are as a person. I am continuing to see how ethics are important in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. This assignment was relevant because we're able to see how our moral compass affects us in and outside of the classroom. My personal reflection, I do think that this was a really good assignment to visualize our moral compasses, but I don't think that this assignment is really going to help me make more ethical decisions. I feel like I know what my morals are and where my compass stands, and I didn't really need this assignment to kind of bring that out of me. I am very confident in my leadership and the decisions that I make. I trust myself, and so why I do think this assignment was great to actually put it down on paper. I don't feel like this assignment will really help me make better decisions or anything like that. I think that that's something that I trust myself to do already. I will use this in my class by following up with my students on their moral compass and having a discussion with them about ethics and why ethics are important. And just to be aware of their own moral compasses as well and what really influences them in their own lives. Thank you.